prop firms are the best thing that has happened to trading in 2025, or rather since they started a few years back. I've been trading Forex for 5 years now, and exactly 5 years ago, there was nothing really like prop firms. Prop firms wasn't really a thing. But when they came in, they completely changed everything. In this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how prop firms work and how you can get started trading with prop firms in 2025. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. What exactly are prop firms and how do they work? So if you're brand new to prop firms and you don't know how prop firms work, maybe you've been hearing this term all around social media. In this video, I'm going to educate you on how it works and show you the ups and downs and everything that you need to know regarding prop firms. Now, prop firms are for traders who don't have enough capital to trade and are looking for ways to increase their capital. So one of the major problems that traders face, not only Forex traders, traders in all markets, is lack of capital. All right, so if you don't have enough capital to trade, even if you're the best trader in the world, you're not really going to make any significant income. You can be the best trader in the world. You can know when to buy, know when to sell, have the best strategy, highest win rates. But if you don't have enough capital to trade, you're not going to make any significant income. Because if you put it like this, let me show you an example. If you have two people, one person has, let's say one person has $10,000, right? One person has $10,000, and then another person has $100, right? And then let's say this person that has $10,000 has a good trading strategy, but it's not like it's like maybe an average trader. So let's say AVG for average. So let's say this person is an average trader, while this one has the best trading strategies. Basically, let's say the best trader in the world, right? Best trader in the world. I'm just using this as an example, right? So let's say this person that has $100 knows how to trade or has a better trading strategy than the person that has $10,000, right? But here's the thing. If these two take the same trade, right? If these two take the same trade, the person with $10,000, let's say the person with $10,000 risk 1% to make 2%. So 1% of $10,000 is going to be what? 1% of that is going to be, let's see, $100. $100 to make $200, right? That's 1%. While the person with $100 is going to do what? It's going to risk the same 1%. And what's the person going to get? The person is going to get 1% of this, which is going to be $1. $1 to make $2. Sorry about my drawing. $1 to make $2. So they did this, they did the exact same thing, but the person with the higher capital is going to make more than this person with $100. In order for this person with $100 to make the amount that this person made, the average trader made, you have to double your account. And it's very, very funny. That means you're taking a huge amount of risk, which in 1 to 2 losing trades, you have blown your account, which is not sustainable. All right. You can get lucky, but it's not sustainable. So that's why I'm just trying to let you know that without capital, without enough capital to trade, it's going to be very difficult for you to make a significant amount of income. That's why we have prop firms. And I'm going to explain more on that. Now, what exactly are prop firms? Prop firms are short for proprietary trading firms. They are companies that allow traders to trade with the firm's capital instead of their own money. So they give you capital to trade. So you don't have to use your own money, your own personal funds to trade. They will give you the capital to trade. So basically, they act as investors investing in your trading skill to give you the capital to trade. And then at the end of everything, the profit that you make, they're going to share it. All right. So the goal is for the trader to make profits, and in return, the firm gives the trader a percentage of the profits, often 70% to 90%. So depends on the prop firm, depends on the company. Some will be 70%, some will be 80%, some will be 85%, some will be 90%, some will be 95%. At the end of this video, I'm going to be showing you the prop firm that you can get to 90 and 95% profit split. So make sure you stick to the end of this video. All right, so we've established what prop firms are. They are companies that allow traders to trade with the firm's capital instead of their own money. And the goal of the trader is to make profit, and in return, the firm gives the trader a certain percentage of the profits, often 70 to up to 90% of the profit, right? So you take 90%, company takes 10%. You take 70%, company takes 30%. So prop firms typically access a trader's skill through a challenge, test, or evaluation before giving access to a funded account. So they're going to test you. They're not just going to give you money to trade. They have to test if you're actually a consistently profitable trader. If you're not, you're gonna fail the test. You can pass the test by luck, but eventually you're gonna still fail. So the challenge is there. The challenge is there to evaluate your trading skills. Are you a good trader? Are you a bad trader? Are you a gambler? Are you someone that's just doing things with luck? Or are you someone that is calculated, has good, proper risk management, knows what you're doing, has a good trading strategy, and is trading systematically? Right. So if the trader meets specific profit targets while following strict risk management rules, they get funded that can start earning profit. So they're going to give you a profit target. So there's a certain amount of profit or certain percentage of profit that you have to make on the account during the challenge phase or the evaluation phase while following strict risk management rules. So they're going to give you rules that you have to abide by. And then once you pass and hit the target, you get funded and you can start earning from the profit split. Now, Profirms give skilled traders access to large trading capital, allowing them to earn money without risking their own funds. So that's basically what Profirms do. So they are companies, in essence, they are companies that give skilled traders access to large trading capital, allowing them to earn money without risking their own money. So instead of you trying to double your $10 account or $30 account or $20, $50, $100 accounts, trying to double it to 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000, 10,000, you can carry that money and put it in a prop firm, get an account, trade an account. I think from $5,000 is the minimum that I've seen, $5,000 all the way up to $400,000 to trade. So imagine you're trading a $400,000 account. Imagine you're trading a $400,000 account, right? So imagine you're trading a $400,000 profit account. All you have to make from this, bro, is like 1 to 2% per month. So imagine 1% of this. 1% of this is going to be what? What's 1% of this? It's going to be $4,000. So 1% of this for per month, you're already making $4,000. Which, if you're in Nigeria, you know how big this is. This is about like 6 million. 6 million naira, 7 million naira around that area. So imagine you're making this per month, bro. You're good. You're good to go. Or let's say you're not even using a $400,000 account. Let's say you're using a $100,000 account, 100K. Make 2 to 3% of this. That's how much. 1% of this is going to be 1K. So 2 to 3% is going to be 3K. So imagine you're making from 1K to 3K per month from apart from accounts, right? That's good money per month. So that's why prop firms are here to stay. They came to change the game basically. So we're gonna do a quick comparison between the old way without prop firms and the new way with prop firms. Because 5 years ago, when I first started trading forex, there was nothing like prop firms. The only prop firm that was there was FTMO, and they were not really popular. It wasn't really a thing. They were just there. People didn't really know about it that much. Right? It was around like 2021 that prop firms began to actually become popular, around 2021, 2022. That's when they became very popular. I think the peak was 2023. All right, so the old ways without prop firms and the new way with prop firms. So the old way, the trader has to use their own money to trade. You have to save up, save up from your job or save up from whatever means you're getting money from outside of trading. Save up the money and then put it into your trading account and try to grow the account. Right. While the new way, 2025, traders use the firm's money. So you're using prop firm capital. Right. The old way requires large capital to grow meaningfully, e.g., $10,000 plus. I'll say, okay, from $1,000 all the way up to $10,000 plus, that's a good amount. Some, depending on how good you are, I'll say $500, depending on how good you are and how much risk you can take. But the standard is from $1,000 and above, all the way up to $10,000 and even more than that. If you have $1,000 live capital to trade, you're good. $10,000, you're good. So the old ways, you have to try and save up to like $1,000 and then try to grow the account from there. While the new way, low upfront cost. So basically, with $100, $500. With $500, you can get a $100,000 profit account. With $500, you can get a $100,000 profit account. With $100, I think you can get like a 20K account around that area, right? So instead of saving up to $1,000, you can just use that money and get a profit account and then withdraw your money from the profit split and then you're good to go. All right, so full risk is on the trader on the old way, The full risk, that is your entire account size. So for example, if you save up top $1,000, that $1,000, the full risk of that account is on you. So you have there's a possibility of you losing that entire $1,000. But on Profim accounts, if you invest like $100 to get a Profim account, if you lose the account, the only thing you lost is $100. But the potential of gain is quite larger because with that $100 now you can get a $20,000 account, which one payout from there can give you like $2,000, $1,000. So you put in $100 and you got 100 and you got $1,000. That's a very good, huge return for your investment. And if you lose only $100. So the risk to reward is actually nice. The old way without profits is limited by personal capital. The new way, you can earn returns trading your $10,000 account all the way up to $500,000 funded accounts. Some profits even have up to like 1 million, or you can even stack up multiple profits and get up to 1 million. That's what some traders are doing right now. So the old way is slow and based on personal savings or small gains. So the old way is you fund your account and you try to grow the account slowly with compounding. You understand? Compound. You compound and compound and compound. You don't withdraw too much because if you keep on withdrawing all the profit that you make on your personal accounts, your account is not going to grow. So that one, you withdraw, but you don't withdraw all your profit. So you have to keep a certain amount of profit so that your accounts can get bigger and bigger. That's how it works on when you're trading your own live account, your own live personal savings. But on Profems, yeah, you can withdraw all the money. You don't have to start compounding in there. Just make your money, withdraw it, make your money, withdraw it month after month after month, right? So, and it's fast. So Preference offers scaling up plans up to 7 figures, right? So that's the new way. The old way without Profems, traders loses real money if the account is blown. But on Profems, there's no real financial loss. It's only the amount of money that you put in to buy the account, to buy the Profem account, right? Old way, traders set their own rules, which is actually good. Traders setting their own rules is actually good. That one, I actually like that. I love that. Actually, I love that one because you have the ability to set your own rules. You guide yourself. You set your own guidelines. You don't have to rely on you don't have to follow someone else's rules. You trade your own style and you trade your own rules. That's one thing I like about trading live accounts. On prop firms, you have to follow strict risk management rules. The rules that the prop firm give you, you have to follow those rules. Which some prop firms are very strict, some are loose, some are just the rules are just what was the rules are just it doesn't make sense for some programs, right? So I'm gonna be honest with you. This one, this one, I actually like this one on the personal accounts, right? Better than the program accounts. But on the program accounts, you don't you have no choice. You have to just follow the rules of the program, right? If you want to keep your accounts. So the old way, high risk due to personal money, yeah, is considered high risk because your whole account is at risk. You can lose the entire account. While this one is a lower risk because it's only the amount of money that you put to buy the account that you're gonna lose. Right. So even if you blow the profit, you can still buy another one and same size with the same size. Since you're trading with the firm's capital, the risk is quite lower. And it's hard for beginners to start big. It's actually harder for beginners because beginners do not grow. You don't have the skill yet. You don't have the experience and the skill and the emotional stability and psychology to grow a personal account. So growing personal accounts is much more difficult for a beginner to do than someone that's already been trading for some years, right? But profits are a safer, faster way of going about it for beginners, right? So if you're a beginner, the best route for you to go with it would be prop firms, then later on move into live accounts. Right. So anyone with skill can access large capital. And so how do prop firms work? You might be wondering right now in this video, how exactly does it work? How does the challenge work? How does the evaluation work? How does the test work? What happens when you pass the challenge and all those things? Let me explain it for you right now. So how do prop firms work? You pay a fee to take a challenge. So you pay a certain amount of money to buy a challenge evaluation account, right? So when you buy the account, they're going to give you a challenge. Basically, that's what I'm saying. When you buy the prop firm account, they're going to give you a challenge and an evaluation. Basically, you can just call it a test, challenge, all are just the same, different words of saying the same thing, right? And then if you pass the challenge, basically by hitting the profit targets and respecting their risk rules, you get funded with real money. All right, so you get funded with the funded accounts, basically. Some profits is not real money, it's just simulated money, and then you get your payouts. But let's not go into that. So how the programs work, there are mainly two steps to get funded. Mainly two steps. You can call it three phases, two steps and three phases. So basically phase one, phase two, and then the funded phase is the third phase. The funded phase is when you're funded, basically. But there are basically two steps to get funded, right? So don't don't let the math or don't let the numbers confuse you. So when I say two steps, I'm talking of the evaluation step and the and the verification step. This one is just when you're if you're speaking of phases, I'll say okay, evaluation phase, verification phase, and then when you're funded, that's also another phase. So three phases but two steps. So you have the evaluation phase where they're gonna test you with hard rules, while the verification phase is to ensure that you didn't pass this first one by luck. Right, so you can pass the first one by luck. The second one ensures that you don't pass it by luck. Now, the second one is easier. The verification phase is easier than the first one. Right, so this one is harder than this second one. So the first test is harder than the second test. So you pass the second test. So when you pass the second test, you get into the funded account. Right, step by step. So I'm going to extend the evaluation phase, then verification phase, then I'm going to go to the funded phase. So evaluation phase, which is the first step of the challenge. This is the first test, and you're given a demo account to trade with specific goals and rules. So they're giving you a demo account because it's a test. You can't be risking live money on a test, right? So the main objectives to get here is you need to pass the evaluation phase and you need to hit this target. So the first target is hit the profit target of usually 8 to 10%. Right. So for some programs is 8%, some programs is 10%. For FTMO, for example, FTMO is 10%, while Funded Next is 8%. Right. So the profit target, which is the first thing that you need to hit, well, the main thing that you need to hit basically is the 8% or 10% profit targets. And while trying to hit the profit targets, don't break any rules. There's a daily drawdown of 5%. There's a max drawdown of 10%. There's usually a rule on most of these programs to trade for a minimum number of days. So most people usually get confused by this. When I say, or when they say trade for a minimum number of days, it is speaking of minimum, not maximum. Minimum. So basically, trade for at least, if someone says trade for a minimum number of 5 days, so it means trade for at least 5 days. Right. So basically, that means if you pass the challenge in 4 days, you have to wait for the fifth day. If you pass the challenge in one day, you have to wait for 4 days, right? Or you have to trade for 4 days. If you pass the challenge in 2 days, you need to still trade for 3 days to complete the 5 days, right? So that's what it means. And then follow any restrictions. So some platforms have no news trading rules, right? So you're restricted from trading high impact news, right? So you might be wondering what is the daily drawdown? The daily drawdown, the 5% and the max drawdown 10%. Daily drawdown, the drawdown basically means floating loss and what's it called? Floating loss and what's the word, bro? Floating loss and realized loss. Yeah. Floating loss and realized loss. Drawdown is basically floating loss and realized loss too. So basically, don't lose 5%, don't lose more than 5% of your account in a day. So if you have, for example, if you have $1,000, let's say it's a $1,000 profit account, using this as an example, so for ease of calculation, and they say don't lose 5% in a day. So basically, if they say don't lose 5% in a day, what is 5% of 1,000? All right, so don't lose $50 in a day. That's 5%, right? Because 10% is $500. So 5%, 10% is $100. So 5% would be $50. So don't lose $50 in a single day. Right. And then max drawdown is 10%. So basically, if you have a $1,000 profit account, don't lose 10% in that is overall. Don't Your account should never get to 10%. So basically, don't lose $100. All right. Don't lose these amounts. Otherwise, they will take the accounts from you, both in the challenge phase and in the profit and the funded phase. So now let's go over this profit targets over step by step. So hit the profit target of usually 8 to 10%. For example, you're giving a $100,000 demo account. If the profit target is 10%, means you need to make $10,000 profit without breaking any rules. So you need to make $10,000 on this 100K account. $10,000 is 10% of $100,000, right? So you need to make that amount. If it's 8%, that means you need to make $8,000. Right. So I personally prefer going with prop firms that have an 8% target because it's easier, right? Because there was a time I was trading a prop firm, I got up to 8%, but the profit target was 10%, so you have to now make another 2%, which is quite hard. And I dropped from 8% back to like 5%, 4%. So I would have passed if it was a prop firm that had an 8% profit target. So the second one is don't break any daily drawdown limit rules. So the daily drawdown, I just explained, is 5%. On a $100,000 account, your daily loss cannot go over $5,000. Should not go over $5,000 in a single day, 24 hours. If you start the day at $100,000, you must not go below $95,000 at any point that day. Otherwise, you have broken their rules, their risk management rules. The third one is don't break the max drawdown limits. This one, once you reach this point, is over. You're done. Your account is gone. All right, so if your account falls below $90,000 at any time, that's assuming you are trading on $100,000 accounts. If your account falls below $90,000 at any time, that's 10% drawdown. You fail. And even if it happens slowly over multiple days, right? So even if it happens slowly over multiple days, this one, once you hit this area, once you hit 10% drawdown, yeah, they'll take the account from you. You have broken their rules. Now, trade for minimum number of days. Usually, prop firms usually give a minimum of at least 5 trading days. So you're required to trade for at least 5 trading days, even if you hit your profit target early. And so if you hit your goal in 2 days, you still need to place trades for 3 more days. Right. So those 3 more days, you don't have to open big positions. You can just open the smallest lot size like 0.01, 0.01. Open it like for the remaining 3 days, just open 0.01. All right. So follow restrictions, no news trading. Some platforms, some platforms say no trading during high impact news. You open the trade right before an NFP release, that's a violation, and your account may be disqualified even if your trade wins. Right. So you have to check the platform rules. Some platforms don't allow you to trade high impact news. Some do. You have to find out on their website which one does and which one does not. So now let's go over to the verification phase. So we just talked about the evaluation phase. Now we're going about the verification phase. So this is the second phase in the challenge, the second step. Now the difference between this verification phase and the evaluation phase is that this one has a lower profit target. So remember the evaluation phase, you have to make 8 to 10%. 8 to 10% on this. But on with the verification phase, I told you it's easier. You have to just make 5%. You need to make 5%. Funny enough, people usually feel this one more. I don't know why. I don't know the psychology behind that. So most people pass the first one, they fail here when this one is even easier. I don't know how that happens. So lower profit targets, same or slightly relaxed rules, right? You must still follow the risk management and no need to pay again, right? In case you're wondering, do I need to pay for this one too? No, you don't need to pay for this one. It's part of the original fee. So once you pay once you have paid for everything basically. And the purpose of this one is to show that and confirm to the firm that the first phase that you passed was not just luck, and they want to see some consistency, discipline under slightly different pressure. Now let's go over to the funded phase. The funded phase, this is where you have officially passed the prop firm challenge. You have passed the first step, you have passed the second step, and now you are in the funded account. You have passed the challenge, they've given you your account to trade. All right. This is the phase that everyone loves. But you have to be careful because the rules are still there. You don't have a profit target though. You don't have a profit target, but the drawdown, the daily drawdown, and the max drawdown is still there, so you can still lose the account. So now you get access to the funded accounts. Some people usually asking me this question. I don't know why. They say, "Can you withdraw the money? Can you withdraw the money from the like? Can you withdraw the capital? You cannot withdraw the capital, bro. You cannot. So if they give you $100,000, you cannot withdraw the $100,000. Like you cannot. It's only the profit that you make you can withdraw. Right? So now you've been given access to a funded account. Now you're officially part of the firm's trader network. Your success earns both you and the firm money. So key things to note, you keep a profit, you keep a percentage of the profits, usually 70 to 90% of the profit. You still must follow the rules. There's still the drawdown rules there. Also, if the firm has a news trading rule, you still have to follow that. And you can request payouts usually, depending on the pair, usually every 2 weeks or every 30 days. 2 weeks is like 14 days. That's basically every 2 weeks, bi-weekly or monthly, which is 14 days, every 14 days or every 30 days, depending on the firm. So depending on the firm, check their rules, check their stuff. Also, one thing you need to note that is very, very important for you to understand is that when you get funded, when you get to the funded phase, when you make your first payout, you're going to get refunded the amount you paid to get the account. Right. So if you paid $100 to get the account, once you've passed the first step and the second step of the challenge, and then now you're in the funded phase, when you make a payout, when you make a request for withdrawal, they're gonna give you your refunded money back. They're gonna refund you the money that you paid, right? They're gonna refund you the money that you paid. So that $100 is gonna come back to your bank account. So it's gonna be as if you got the account for free. All right. So you get refunded the amount you paid to get the account once you pass the challenge. Here's an example of what that means. You get a $100,000 account and pass both stages of the challenge. Now, on the funded phase, you get to keep whatever profit you make. So 5% of the $100,000 is $5,000. Out of the $5,000, you take 70%, while the firm takes 90%, while the firm takes the rest. So that's the profit split. So for those of you that don't know what the profit split and how it works, so you take 70% or 90% of the profit. So of this $5,000, you're going to take 70% or 90% of it. Now, if you break any rules during the funded phase, the firm can take the account back, like I said. So even though you're funded, you still have to be disciplined. Discipline is everything. Patience, discipline, risk management. Stick to it. Don't break any rules. Otherwise, they'll take the account from you. So now, you might be wondering what is the best firm to use? What firm can I recommend for you? The firm that I can recommend for you, which have been here since 2022. Remember, I told you Profits became popular in 2021, 2022. They have been around since 2022 for over 3 years now, which is Funded Next. Funded Next is one of the best prop firms out there. Like I've been using them for a long time. They've been around for a very long time, and they're also the most affordable, right? They have affordable prices. It's not like it's overly expensive. Uh, they are catered. They're affordable for you to get account sizes with them. Also, they have the best rules. Also, on their first phase, they have an 8% profit target. So it's not a 10%, right? It's not 10%, it's 8%, which is very good. So this is their website. This is Funding Next website. So go to their website. One thing that you need to know about Funding Next is that's different from most of the platforms out there is they're going to give you a profit share. They're going to give you a 15% profit share from the money you make in the challenge phases. So the money you make on the challenge phase, that is the step one and step two, the challenge and evaluation phase, they're going to give you 15% of the profit. So basically, let's say you get $100,000 account, right? A two-step $100,000 account. On the first phase, they're going to give you 15% of the profit you made. So on the first phase, if you're meant to make 8%, right? You're meant to make 8% of that. When you make 8%, which is $8,000, they're gonna give you 15% of that $8,000. Is it gonna be for you? 15% is gonna be for you. And then on the second phase, you make 5%, 15% of that. And then when you join it together, it's gonna be $1,950. So you're gonna get this amount of money plus your refund when you pass the challenge. Right, so this is what you're gonna get automatically when you pass the challenge, and when you request your first payout, this is coming with it. So you're gonna get this plus your refund, the amount of money you used to get the account, and then whatever money you make from the Profim account when you pass the challenge, right? So FundingX is one of the best out there that you can use. If you want to get an account with them, make sure to click the link in the description below to get an account with Funded Next. Also use the coupon code FNDANFX to get a 110% refund when you pass the challenge. So if you guys found this video helpful, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Also, feel free to join my free Telegram. The link is going to be in the description below. Join the free Telegram, and I'll see you guys inside there. All right.